It's much easier to explain life when you look at Earth as a farm. And I wonder why. If you look at Earth as a farm, it's very easy to explain suffering. But if you don't look at Earth as a farm, if you tell yourself that there's a loving God who created this for us to thrive, you can't really be able to explain suffering. Especially considering the fact that no one wants to suffer. I don't know a person who wants to suffer. And don't confuse pain and suffering. Pain is not suffering. I'm talking about suffering. I'm talking about people going through so much in life that they even think of ending things. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about people going through so much that you feel for them. You're like, damn, I can't believe you went through that. That's not building their character. Don't let people lie to you. People think suffering builds character. No, it destroys character. People who are traumatized, they don't function properly. All right? You find that they have too many triggers. They see red flags in everything. They don't function properly. So it'll be very easy to explain suffering if you believe that we are in a loosh farm. There are beings that actually want us to suffer, and there is something that they are benefiting from our suffering. Maybe whatever maybe they don't even want us to suffer, but the only way they can benefit, or the only way they can get what they want, is like they'll get what they don't want us to suffer, but we must suffer for them to get what they want. You get what I'm saying? Like when you have an egg farm, it's not like you can just produce eggs artificially. Like, chickens have to be fed, and then they produce eggs. So you might not necessarily want to keep them in captivity. You might not necessarily want to feed them food that makes them produce eggs faster, which might not be healthy for them. But you want the eggs. So you feed them and they produce the eggs, right? So the beings that are getting loose from us, they might not want us to see they might not want to see us suffering. But to get what they want, we must suffer. They don't know any other way to get what they want from us, and they don't care that much. You know, the same, like, it's not like human beings care about chickens. You know, I don't think there are many people who just torture an innocent animal. Like, they just want to torture that animal. But if there's something that it can produce when they torture it, then they will. If they can get something that they want, but the only way to get what they want is by torturing that animal, they will torture it to get what they want. So it's not that they want to torture it, but there's something that they want, so they are torturing it so that they will get it, because that's the only way they can get it. You see? So you understand why we suffer, because no one wants to suffer. You can't explain suffering, bro. Oh, suffering builds character, or we're here to learn. We don't have to learn through suffering. It would be much easier for us to learn if we knew what the lessons were. Like, what am I actually learning? Like, there's no reason, there's no good reason for me to forget what I came here to learn. There is no good reason. You know, you listen to spiritual teachers telling you that, yeah, you're here to learn. You just forgot that you're here to learn. You planned it. Like, there's no good reason for me to forget. Like, I've watched movies where people forget who they are, and that is never good. I've never watched a movie where people forget who they are. You know, like they don't remember their past, and that was a good thing. You know, they were very easy to manipulate, very easy to control, and they suffered because of that. So that tells me that the reason why our memories get wiped all the time is so that we never remember the truth about why we are here, right? And we already have proof that our mind get wiped. Like when you fall asleep and dream, you don't remember that you went to bed, you first went to work, came back from work, ate whatever you ate, watched a TV show, and then you slept, and then you started to dream. You don't remember that. Why don't you remember that? Because you're conscious in your dream, but you don't remember that. So that tells you that that is possible. Like it's possible to wipe off people's memories, and they don't remember anything about their past. So they are very easy to control. So of course, if there are beings that are feeding off our whatever energy we produce when we are suffering, they wouldn't want us to know that. They wouldn't want us to know that. So the best way was to remove our memories or every time when we die. That's actually the best way. The chickens that produce eggs, of course we don't want them free because we want them to produce eggs. So we keep them in captivity. They can tell themselves stories that they want to tell themselves. They can tell themselves stories that they want to tell themselves. They will tell themselves that we are the gods and we love them so much. That's why we're giving them free food. But that's not the truth. The truth is, we want the eggs. We don't care about them. It's not like if they didn't produce eggs, we'll care about them. We just eat them. That's how it works. So to understand the archons, we must understand ourselves. You know, it seems to me that there's a force in reality that wanted things to be this way. We must feed off each other's energy as sentient beings. And for a being to feed off your energy, there must be suffering. So you must protect yourself. And when you are protecting yourself, the being that wants your energy, it suffers. So it's producing suffering because you're protecting yourself. I mean, it's producing energy because you're protecting yourself. So it's suffering because you're protecting yourself. If a lion chases a gazelle and fails to catch it, it suffers, right? So it produces this energy. It's a carefully constructed farm. How do I explain why we don't know anything about ourselves? Why we know nothing? It's because we're in a farm. If we knew the truth, we'll be able to set ourselves free. So why should we know the truth? Maybe it wouldn't be easy for the archons to get energy from us if we knew the truth, even if they kept us, like, even if they appeared and try to control us by force. It wouldn't be very easy for us to produce what they want us to produce. Like, it's best when we know nothing, because we'll always be trying to fight back, and if we knew what they wanted, we'll protect it. You know? Like, if you knew 100% that your life sucks because there are beings that feed off negative energy, so they're purposefully making your life a living hell because they want your energy, you're like, oh, all right. Now I'm not going to give them. I'm just going to protect my energy at all costs. Maybe I can't experience what I want because I'm not in control, but I can just not care, because why should I? I'm not going to have high hopes because now I can see that I'm not in control. So you understand, like, you know, so, the best way to hurt a person is to give them high hopes and take it away from them, like take the hope away from them. So it's to give them high hopes and then take all hope away from them. That's the best way to make people suffer. You see, if you want to torture someone emotionally, make them think you really like them. Make them think you really like them. Giving them hope. And then pull away completely. And then come back with some BS explanation. And then make them love you again, and then you pull back, come up. You know what I'm saying? Like, you create this toxic relationship with them. That's how life is. It's like it gives you hope and then take it away from you. So you suffer because of that. But if you already knew that there was no hope, you're just in a hell realm, you will not suffer. You will not have high hopes. You will not expect, because expectations, you know that having expectations can be a bad thing. Like, you can suffer because of the expectations that you have. If you expect someone to come and help you with something today and they don't come, you'll be hurt, right? So the whole realm makes us expect good things, but not give us good things that we actually expect, like mostly disappoint us. So that's how it works. So we'll know that, I just have to know that I'm in a hell realm. I'm in a loosh farm, and there are these beings that are feeding off negative energy that I produce when I'm suffering. So let me protect my energy. So they would rather lie to us, manipulate us, make us compete. Ever ask yourself why we compete? How did you end up in a room where there's competition? People are just competing. It's not like that's helping us evolve. That's one of the lies that people tell themselves. Like, it's through competition that people evolve. The best make the best men win. No, we will evolve by working together. Every person has something to offer, right? So if we work together, help where we can, and we try to build a heaven, that's what's going to make things better. But if I'm competing with others, I make so much money that I can save everyone, but I don't. That tells you something. Something wants us to suffer, so it makes us compete so that we can produce energy. Relationships, people don't understand each other in a relationship, and they can't communicate our communication is very limited. You can't make someone read your mind. Like, you can't allow them to feel what you're feeling, to think exactly what you're thinking, so that they will understand you. You have to use words, and people interpret words differently, so people feel misunderstood. So ask yourself why we're this limited. You mean to tell me that it was impossible to create a world where people can read each other's minds? And wouldn't that be beneficial to, like, the whole human race? Why do we gotta have secret? Why are we given that power that we can have secret, we can manipulate one another, we can lie to one another? This reminds me of this TV series called The Three Body Problem. So aliens wanted to conquer Earth, but they sent this technology to Earth that can, like, monitor everything that's happening on Earth, and that allows them to communicate with people on Earth. There were some people that they were able to contact and talk to, and these people became their followers without fully understanding what they are. One day, when one of their followers was talking to them, they said something that they didn't know. They said that they spoke about lying, and the aliens were like, "What do you mean by lying?" And then they said, "Saying something that is not true." And aliens were like, "Wait, so that's possible?" Because they cannot lie. That's how they were able to reach the level that they reached technologically. Like, no manipulation, nothing. They speak the truth. So now they're like, dang, so you're telling me that you can say something that is not true, knowing that it's not true? And the person that they were communicating with said yes. And they said thank you. And then they started to destroy those that were following them. In fact, they destroyed everyone. Like damn, these creatures are gonna fool us. Because if they can lie and we can't lie, that means they're more powerful. They can tell us things that are not true, and we believe these things. Because they can lie, and we didn't know that there was such thing as lying. But we're given that power to lie. You can lie, get away with things that are bad. You know what I mean? We are not equal, according to like everyone, basically. Like, I don't think there's a human being who genuinely believes that people are equal. It's in the way that we're treating people. There are people that you think so highly of. There are some people that you just don't matter to you, right? So there's inequality. There's people who are talented, people who are not talented, people who are beautiful, people who are not beautiful. You know what I'm saying? All of that is making life very difficult. Ask yourself why things are the way that they are. Some people are born disabled, but tell yourself that, oh no, it's a mistake. Do you think it's a mistake? Unemployment, people don't know what to do. More than 60% of young people in South Africa are unemployed. They want jobs, they went to school, they did what they were supposed to do. They're suffering now. You think that's just happening randomly? Like, it's just happening. Nothing is making that happen. So if you look at this as a loosh farm, then it's much easier to explain the nonsense that's going on in this world. I see people, like every day when I go out, I see people who are hiding their pain. Because they know that no one really cares. And, one of the reasons why people don't care is because they have their own problems. So they don't really know who they can talk to. So they're in pain, but they just have to keep everything to themselves. It's a loosh farm. They're in so much pain that they're actually suffering. No, they're not experiencing the kind of pain that helps them. I mean, pain does help you notice some things, but now, even when they notice some things that they were not noticing before, they don't have the power to do anything about it. So they end up suffering because the pain never goes away. So the pain turns into suffering because they're not able to fix the problem. Why do you think we're suffering? We're suffering because of some mistake. We're suffering because Earth is a school. If Earth is a school, tell me what you've learned so far. You've learned that you can't trust other people. Haven't you learned that? You've learned that you can be heartbroken. You've learned that you can be betrayed by the people that you love. Haven't you learned that? Like, you've learned things that make you weak. The fact that nature gives animals power to kill each other for energy should tell you something. This reminds me of a scene that I've came across from a movie. I don't know the name of the movie, but I saw the clip on TikTok. So this bear was chasing this other animal. It was running away, and then another animal saved that animal that was being chased. And the bear asked, "Why did you do that?" And the animal said, I'm trying to save this animal." And the animal asked the same question, why would you do that? And the animal said, asked if it was not supposed to do that. The other animal said, "Yeah, animals eat each other. That's pond rules. Like, it's the rules, right?" So it even asked the bear if the bear still wants to eat it, and the bear was like, "No, it's weird now." This is very funny saying, but that's how it works in this world. It's normal for an animal to kill another animal for food. It's shouldn't it tell you something? Because some truths are obvious. Do you get what I'm saying? Why can't we all eat something that is not alive and enjoy the taste? But we eat what's alive. So what's really benefiting from us as humans? Does it love us? I'd say it doesn't hate us, but it doesn't love us. It doesn't care if we get to experience life the way that we want to experience it. It doesn't care if we're not happy. All it cares about is getting what it wants so that it doesn't die. So if you truly want to be free, then you must learn to starve this thing that's controlling what we call reality. You must learn to starve it. You must learn to starve the icons. And that's what I've been talking about yesterday. That you have to teach yourself to care less so that you don't produce a lot of energy. Every time when I get really angry, I feel weaker. It's very easy to explain what's going on if you think we are in a farm. Because we are controlled like we are in a farm. Maybe Earth is just a big farm. You know? Maybe it isn't that big compared to what these aliens or these spiritual beings or these archons know. So sometimes you must acknowledge the truth that you are seeing and ask yourself what it means. If aliens came from another planet and they found things the way that they are in this planet, they will be surprised. Are you telling me that those animals are gonna get eaten by that one lion? Is that what you're telling me? But why? Why will the Creator want things to be that way? So that we can learn. What do we learn from that? What do you learn from getting chased by a dog? What do you learn from seeing a lion kill a rabbit? It just makes you think the world is cruel. You don't really learn anything of value. You don't really learn something that can help you get somewhere in life. It does feel like a soul trap, this realm, bruh, because we already feel trapped. We're not that free. So it feels like the freedom that we have it because it was given to us. We do not have freedom because we are free. Like they give us the level of freedom that they wanted to give us, and that's it. So you can tell that something is not right if we pay attention to how things work. And I would say pay more attention to how nature works, because human beings are liars. Human beings are liars. Human beings will act like they are good people even if they are not. Human beings will do that. They do that all the time. They'll act like they're not like animals, right? Like they don't want to dominate, they don't want to be powerful, they're not greedy, they're not selfish. But the truth is, we're just like the animals that we kill and eat for food. Like, oh, I'm better than a lion, but you are also eating animals. Maybe you are just privileged as a human. Some people confuse privilege with being a good person. Like that privilege, they just think they're a good person. They don't realize that they are only good because, well, they don't have to be bad. So people are only as good as the world allows them to be. So if things are going well in your life and things are not going well in someone's life, you find that you're making money. You don't even make money because you work harder than that person. You're just lucky enough to find yourself, in a field where you're making money. You blame a person who's not making money for maybe scamming people. You think that you are better than that person, not realizing that you're just privileged. You blame a person who's addicted to drugs, like, oh, I'm better than this person because I'm able to control myself and they can't control themselves. But maybe they can't control themselves. Maybe you just have enough coping resources and they don't. So they just cope the way that they can. But like, you know what? I don't think I'll ever experience real joy in life. So this is where I can get it. I'm just gonna take a shortcut. And then you think you're better than them. They've just been through a lot. They're traumatized, or there's something that they're trying to run away from, and they keep on trying to run away from it, so much that they become desperate. So they take desperate measures to escape whatever they're trying to run away from, but they find out that still they're unable to. So they just have to keep on doing this thing that is toxic that they're doing to escape. But suffering is the base. Like, listen, suffering is the foundation of this reality itself. When babies are born, there's suffering. The baby cries, the mother cries. You get what I'm saying? There will be blood everywhere. And the baby will be crying. Why is the baby crying? If suffering was not the foundation of this world, why is the baby crying? Why ain't babies born laughing? Ask yourself that question. Listen, you might tell yourself that the baby is crying because it's confused, but why is it confused? If you want to say this world is good, why are babies born crying? It makes more sense to think that it's bad. That's why babies are born crying. They're crying because maybe they still remember who they are. As an adult, you have had to be fake for too damn long to even remember who you are. But they do. But they can't talk. They can only cry. So they remember. Maybe they remember very well who they are. So they cry because they can't say anything. That's the only way they can communicate. But as they get brainwashed, as they get older, they start to think that they are really from this world. They forget where they really come from. Ever been looked at by a baby and they seem to know something that you don't know? Sometimes babies will look at you and it seems like they know something that you don't know. You're like, I wish you were able to talk so you can tell me what you're thinking. I think we are more of ourselves when we're still young, and as we get older, we get absorbed by this illusion, right? We start to identify with it. The more we identify with it, the more we produce loosh. because we believe things about ourselves that are not true, and the things that we're supposed to believe about ourselves that are not true are things that make us produce loosh. The archons are very strategic. I mean, they have to study us. They have to study you specifically. They have to know how they can get loosh from you. Because we don't all produce loosh the same way. We're not all hurt by the same things. They know our traumas. They knew how our lives were going to be. They planned everything. You know, when you're a kid, they planned that you will get bullied and on this day, and then the next day you get bullied by another person, and then at home something bad happens so that you be traumatized, and as you get older, that's gonna, you know, that's gonna keep on affecting you. You know, you're gonna react irrationally because of what happened. Like, they know how your mind works. They know how you think. They know how to make you angry. They know how to make you frustrated. They know how to make you give up. They're studying you. And why wouldn't they? If what they want is loosh and that's the only way they can survive. Can't really blame them when you think deeply about it. I mean, we do the same to animals. If you were them, you'll do the same, right? But that doesn't mean that you shouldn't try to protect yourself. To be able to protect yourself effectively, you must know how they really operate, you know? Like I told you that the whole thing is scripted. Life is scripted. One of the biggest mistakes is that we start to take the stories too damn seriously, and that's when we suffer the most. The moment you take this story too damn seriously, like, things will happen. It needs to get to a point where you watch, man, and you're like, this hurts me, but I get it. Do you get what I'm saying? It's like, okay, this hurts me, but I get it. I get that this is where I'm at. Here's what I was talking about yesterday. I think it's really important to put more to put more emphasis on that, because I don't think there's any other way at this point. You have to starve these archons. They have to starve. They have to know they can't get loose from you, because you know how they trick you. You know, like if you were, you know, there are frogs that produce 5-MeO DMT. For them to produce 5-MeO DMT, people have to find ways to provoke them, and then they will produce these, you know, this drug. But what if it's a painful thing for them? What if when you do what you do to get the DMT, what if they might not even know that you're doing what you're doing to them so they can give you DMT? But what if it's painful for them and you just don't know? Like if you're trying to get venom from a snake. If a snake knew that you're just trying to get venom from it, will it give you venom when you open its mouth? So you must know what they're trying to get from you. So you'll be like, I'm not giving you. Do what you do. I am not giving you my energy, because I know this is false. I know this is not real, and it isn't. It can be. You get what I'm saying? It can't be reality, and everything tells you that this is not even reality, and that is why you don't even understand it. Like, if this was real, you'll understand it fully. You'll understand why it's the way that it is, how it really works. You know, it will be base reality. You just get it, but it isn't. It isn't base reality. This is an illusion that you're experiencing that you think is real. They manipulate people in different ways. If your biggest trauma is people abandoning you, people will always abandon you. People will always abandon you, and you'll blame yourself, thinking that it's your fault. You'll be like, okay, my friend, people don't abandon my friend. Why do they abandon me? It means there's something wrong with me. You try to change, you try to act like your friend, but still, people keep on abandoning you. It's a curse, really. It has to be like that, because that's how these outcomes are getting loose from you. You know what I'm saying? Your worst fear is being rejected. You keep on getting rejected. Your worst fear is being bullied. You keep on getting bullied. You know what I'm saying? They know what you're afraid of. They know how to trigger you, and that's what they're trying to do, because you're producing what they want when they trigger you. The problem is that they don't care about you the same way that you don't care about the chickens you eat, how they produce eggs. You don't really care. You just want, so you don't mind giving these chickens whatever just to make the process faster, and it might be painful for them. So these archons, they also don't care. That is why there's so much suffering in the world. They don't tell themselves that, okay, these are sentient beings, we're above them, they don't know what's going on. We want loosh. Can we come up with a system that will get us loosh from them without them suffering too much, right? Without them suffering too much, because now we just, you know what I mean, like right now we're just overdoing it. Like we are making them suffer more than they should, and most of them can sense that. Most of them are not okay. Wouldn't it be better if we made sure they are okay and we still get loosh, but in other ways, and we're not too damn greedy? I mean, that will make sense. But it's not. It doesn't seem like these beings work that way. And I've made a video telling y'all about this. That it seems like when they get all the energy that they want, that's when they'll leave you alone, right? I remember I made a video talking about that. If my day starts off bad, you find that nothing is going my way, bro. Like no matter what I try to do, nothing is actually going my way. Something good is gonna happen in the end. And I believe it's when they are done getting energy from me. So when my day starts off bad, they'll be getting energy, manipulating me, and then once they got enough energy, they'll be like, we're good. It's all about what they can get from your suffering, and whatever created reality itself, not just this realm, I would say reality itself, because it seems like no matter where you go, as long as it's not, and as long as it's not base reality, yeah, it's it seems like you'll always be suffering. You'll always be manipulated. Maybe if you wake up completely and figure out how reality is actually being created, you can free yourself. But whatever we're experiencing, where we don't even know anything, where we come from, what life is, what consciousness is, there's too many things that we don't know. Of course there will be suffering, and will be very easy to manipulate. So they were strategic when they made sure that we don't know anything, because the more you know, the more powerful you become. You see? So if you know nothing, you don't even know what you're doing. You see, that's the problem. It's like if there were 1,000 buttons that looked identical. You were told that if you press the right button, your life will be good. Like you're not told anything else. If you press the right button, your life will be good. You find that most of the buttons, if you press them, your life will be horrible. So it's kind of like how life works. It's like you don't know what decisions to make to set yourself free. You don't know if becoming a Christian is gonna help you. Becoming a Muslim is gonna help you. Believing in New Age spirituality is gonna help you. Becoming an atheist is gonna help you. Taking a certain career path is gonna help you. Going to school is gonna help you. Becoming a producer is gonna help you. Dating this person is gonna help you. Living in this, you don't know. You don't know what's gonna happen before you make a decision. So it's kind of like that. So, of course, in a world like that, you can't really expect to be happy, because you don't have that much control. Things just happen. You make choices like you're trying to win, like you're gambling. You know what I'm saying? Like when you're trying to win the lottery, you don't pick numbers based on history, based on knowledge, or anything like that. You just pick random numbers and hoping that you would win. So that's how it is in this realm. It's like you're picking random numbers, hoping that these numbers will win. Understand how bad the situation is. So it's a perfect environment to get loosh from sentient beings, because they don't know anything. They just know what they prefer and what they do not prefer. So you can program their lives in ways that they'll get what they prefer, but also get a lot of what they don't prefer. So they must keep on going, hoping that they will get a lot of what they prefer. I have a feeling that if your life changes, maybe, like if it changes for the better, maybe you no longer have a lot of archons that are feeding off your energy. Like maybe some of them have died. Some of them have died, so you can't suffer in some ways. It's like you have different archons that are making sure that, not just one, that are making sure that you suffer. There's an archon that's like, okay, I want to make sure that you suffer through relationships. There's an archon that's going to say, okay, I want to make sure that you suffer through poverty. Okay, there's an archon that says, oh, I want you to suffer through sicknesses. An archon that says, I want you to suffer through betrayal. Like people must betray you. So if your life changed and your relationship started to work, it's because that archon died. That archon died, or it got old, or whatever. But I see things change in people's lives, and I think people have the power to make things happen in their favor, meaning that without these archons they will be able to, but the archons have to work against them so that they'll produce loosh. So when these archons die, you are able to change your life, and you're shocked. You're like, I thought I'll live in poverty forever. I think that's how it actually works. So you have to starve them. I think they die if you starve them. I think they will actually die if you starve them. So if you become a true stoic, you detach yourself from things, these archons will start to die, and you'll have more power. It's like maybe when you are born, these archons choose you. Like they can choose you. Maybe the rule is that they will choose you when you're still young, and they will get loosh through you, and maybe they can sell you to another person. Another archon. They will just if they died, they died. So some of them will set you free when they die. So you just starve them. And think about it, there's no benefit to suffering. So obviously there is something that is benefiting from your suffering. That is why you suffer. As human beings, we are totally capable of building a very wonderful world. Like a very, very wonderful world where people will truly be joyous and enjoy their experience. Where we're focusing on happiness, bro. We're focusing on having fun. We're focusing on helping one another. It's totally possible, but there seem to be forces that are working behind the scenes that are ensuring that doesn't happen. So you have good intentions to change the world for the better, but you find that there's lots of obstacles on the way to ensure that doesn't happen. I think these obstacles are caused by the archons. They're not just natural obstacles that just the people can have. You know what I'm saying? So to understand this reality, we need to be as wise as possible and learn how to behave in a way that will get us out of get us out of danger, right? So that we don't find ourselves in situations where bad things happen and we don't understand why, and then we cause other bad things to happen. Like, we must be conscious at all time, right? Protect, like in the UFC, when fighters are about to start fighting, they say protect yourself at all time. So yeah, protect yourself at all time. You know, pay attention to what is happening in your life. Pay attention to how you react, how you feel. Pay very close attention to emotions. And whenever you catch yourself feeling negative emotions, try to distract yourself. There are many ways to distract yourself. If you catch yourself thinking about things that are making you feel negative emotions, just distract yourself. There's a lot that you can think about. Imagine yourself winning $30 million and starting businesses. You know, just imagine yourself, you start feeling better, because the mind doesn't even know the difference between what's real and what's imagined. That's why I'm telling you, the whole thing is not real. So just create your own world in your own head, a beautiful world for you, and feel better, so that you'll be starving these archons. They become less powerful the more you starve them. So just continue to starve them. It will get to a point where they pull back completely. Why they pull back? They want you to start caring again, because you stop caring. So, you know, it's like if you're in a relationship with a person and that person realized that the way that you're treating them is not right, and they decided to stop caring, and then you chase them, it probably won't work. But if you pull back, that's probably going to work. It's strange how it all works, but it's obvious when you think about it. It's obvious when you pay attention to it. It's only not obvious when you identify with this realm and believe the story that they want you to believe. But if you stop identifying with this realm, then the truth starts to make sense, and you start to, it's like you start to download the truth, basically. Like you were downloading lies, so now you start to download the truth, and you're like, oh yeah, this actually makes sense. I can't believe that, I've never thought of it before, but this is actually true. Like, this explains a lot. That's why I'm telling you that to even be able to explain what's going on in the world, you must first look at this as a farm, as a prison. Don't believe what they're telling you about this realm. Like, pay close attention. You'll realize what it really is, and you'll be able to understand it better without telling yourself lies, because that does not help. That does not make things better in the world. Even if you feel good for a while because you're telling yourself lies, those lies are going to catch up with you. You know, the truth will prevail in the end. You know, if there was a train coming and you told yourself that the train is not coming, it's still going to hit you. The truth is going to prevail. There's a train coming. It's going to hit you if you don't move, right? So that's how it is, even in this room. If you tell yourself lies, you might get away with it for a while. Just like if you tell yourself that there's no train coming, you might get away with it for a while, because you're not going to be worried that you're going to get hit by a train, but you get hit by it. So you might get away with it for a while, but eventually the train will hit you. There's no way around it. Eventually the train is going to hit you. So pay close attention to everything, and looking at this as a farm. So you pay attention to everything while looking at this as a farm, right? That's what's gonna help you. So you pay attention to everything while looking at it, this the whole thing as a farm. If you get it wrong, if you don't realize what this is, you look at it as a school, or something that was created by something that loved you and whatever. Like, no, you probably gonna not get it right. The conclusions that you make are probably not going to be right. Thank you guys for watching until the end. Like the video, subscribe, tell me what you think in the comments. Thank you.